At E3 2017, Bethesda announced something known as the Creation Club, which is supposed to make modding more accessible. People saw this as Bethesda's replacement for paid mods, and we all know the uproar that caused. But now, the actual modders themselves have spoken up about the Creation Club.
In 2015, Steam partnered with Bethesda to launch paid mods for Skyrim's Steam Workshop. The system had a whole host of problems, including well-known mods being ripped off, then re-uploaded as someone else's work, and modders only receiving 25% of the revenue from their work in the first place. Straight away, the feature was met with harsh criticism from the community, and the system was only in place for a week before it was completely removed. Fast forward to 2017, and people believe the Creation Club is the second coming of paid mods. But this time, some modders appear to be open to the idea. In an interview with PC Gamer, several modders spoke out about their thoughts on the Creation Club and how it will affect their projects. One of them was Troy Irving, creator of Fallout 4's Settlement Supplies Extended mod. He said, "At first I was against it, but after talks with some other modding friends, I changed my mind and actually decided to put an application in. I saw it as another paid mod scenario, which was terrible the first time, but it's a bit different this time around."
So what is it about the Creation Club that impresses Irving? Well, he seems to like the club's quality control process, which means existing mods cannot be sold on the service, and this protects his work from being copied. The quality control process will also prevent people from flooding the store with low-effort cash grab mods, according to Irving. Doug Schaefer, creator of Fallout 4's Armor Smith Extended mod, also shares the same opinion as Irving. Schaefer says, "It seems like they're really taking all the problems from Steam's paid mods and trying to stamp them all out."
I was all over Nexus mods for a long time before Steam Workshop came along and made it a lot easier and more accessible to loads of people, which is awesome. I'm all about that. This, however, I still am extremely skeptical about it. I'm not happy that it's happening at all, to be honest. But the fact that these guys is interesting me, and I hope it's not because they've had, a long chat with ZeniMax's legal division or something. I hope that they genuinely are seeing something good in this and some merit in it. Obviously they would know and I wouldn't, because I don't make mods for Skyrim and they do. Hopefully they're actually pleased with the system as it's been proposed.
Yeah, not fundamentally opposed to people like modders who put a lot of effort into developing parts of games that people get a lot of enjoyment out of. Seeing some sort of reward for that, getting some benefit, getting some cash for it. I'm not opposed to that at all. And that in principle is probably a good thing. Now, does this change the motivation from doing it as some sort of passion project, some hobby of theirs, into some more money-making avenue, some sort of career prospect now? So it changes the motivation for the modder. And now, like, how will that affect the mods and all that?
The problem with it for me is that it's such an unholy mess. It's a beautiful mess, right? The whole modding scene is chaos, because there's a mod might come along and use 3 other mods to make the mod that is being able to show you. It's repackaging things and lines of code and stuff in different ways that other people have made. So it's very difficult to claim ownership of a lot of mods. But this is going to be its own thing, and all the old mods that already exist are kind of off the table. Like you've got to come up with new stuff, and so I can see they're trying to police and control that as well as possible, but I'm gonna have to see it in action before I'm completely convinced. What else is actually impressing these modders? Well, Brendan Borthwick, who is best known for the Skyrim race menu, is a fan of how easy it is to use and how Bethesda say they are committed to making sure every mod works out of the box. Borthwick said they don't have much conflict with each other and they're easy to put in. I mean, I wouldn't say they're easy to make, but they're easy to put in the game and install in your game. Previously, you'd have to browse through Nexus mods and then make sure you had all the necessary stuff installed, like Skyrim Script Extender, for example. But even if you managed to do everything right, there might be the off chance the mod wouldn't work because it conflicted with another mod or an application on your PC. So if all this sounds good and the modders themselves are on board, is it too good to be true? There must be some drawbacks, right? Well, it turns out there is.
The first drawback of Creation Club is total conversion mods are not allowed on the service. Borthwick says this is because the scale of those mods is essentially creating a game from scratch using existing assets, which isn't in the purview of Creation Club. The second drawback is purely hypothetical at this point, but there has been concerns for the future of free mods for Skyrim and Fallout. Some parts of the modding community believe if Bethesda go ahead with Creation Club, then every modder will stop making free mods and just charge for them instead. Borthwick has said, I don't think it's going to have a major impact on free mods. People are still going to make mods on Nexus, and not everybody is going to try and push mods on the Creation Club. Doug Schaefer also pointed out if modders are getting paid for their work, this will inspire them to take on more ambitious projects and possibly attract more talent to the modding scene.
One thing you need to bear in mind about all this though is the idea that the Creation Club it's a way for Bethesda to keep monetizing Skyrim. This huge buzzing modding community, right? Maybe one of the best modding communities we've ever seen for any game ever exists for this game, and they're getting no money from that. And that is what this is. It's as simple as that for me. This is a way for them to keep making DLC without having to make DLC, getting the community to do it for them and giving them a little cut. I kind of find that easier to digest than thinking that they're charging.
I think the absolute opposite. I see them as sitting there thinking, oh, there's all this content out there that we could be monetizing because other people are creating it, and them trying to take their share of that. Like, and they're trying to take something that, you know, monetize something that essentially is supposed to be free. That's the whole idea of it.
Well, exactly. They've tried to say we want some money for that stuff that you're making. And they've flipped that around and said, hey guys, we're going to invite you to make stuff for us, and we're going to give you some money for that. They've just flipped it on its head.
Yeah.
That's a better idea than taking money from the mod creators and actually inviting them to work and to contribute for them, and the fact that you can't, you know, contribute old mods is a key part of that. You have to make this for the Creation Club. You can't just throw us the mod that you made 3 years ago. You're gonna have to make us something from scratch for the Creation Club. It is very interesting, and it was kind of inevitable from the beginning. As soon as people started making loads of mods, like you said earlier, like they put so much time and effort into these. Like just like years of people's lives are spent like just, you know, in the evenings and weekends just like updating the mod that they made, and they're not getting anything for it. So it's interesting to see where it goes, and it is very interesting that some mod creators now are saying, I'm happy with this. I'm glad with the shape of this kind of Creation Club model. I'm interested to see where it goes in the future, to be honest.
Yeah, it leaves me with conflicting opinions about this whole thing, and I think this is why we wanted to make a video on this, because we want to try and gauge what you guys think about it. We can kind of guess that you won't be in favor of these paid mods because, you know, who likes paying for shit? Nobody likes paying for shit. But there are benefits from this. There are certain benefits, especially for the modders themselves, who can make money for it, and there are pros and cons to it, and I definitely want to hear from you in the comments and let us know what you think about this.
Okay guys, so where do you stand on the Creation Club? Do you think it's a good idea, or do you want to see the back of it? Let us know down in the comments. Remember to like the video if you enjoyed it, subscribe if you want to see more stuff like this. There's another video right there if you want to watch that right now, and a link to Patreon if you want to support the channel. See you next time.